Hey everyone, if you're a UK fashion brand sourcing from Sri Lanka, listen up. A massive change has just landed, and honestly, it could completely reshape your business. Let's get right into it.
Now, this isn't just some dry policy update. Check out this quote from the British High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, H.E. Andrew Patrick. He's basically sending out a direct invitation, telling your brand, hey, come and grab this new opportunity. He's talking about zero tariffs, and that's something we've all been waiting for.
And just so you know, this is the real deal. It's official. As of January 1st, 2026, these changes are live under the UK's Developing Countries Trading Scheme, or DCTS for short. This is happening right now, and believe me, it is a total game changer for your supply chain. Okay, so what has actually changed? Let's break down exactly what these new rules mean for garment manufacturing. Get ready, because what we're about to show you could seriously transform your brand's flexibility and, of course, your bottom line. All right, this slide lays it all out, the before and after. It used to be, well, a bit of a headache, right? You were stuck sourcing materials regionally, you had to go through all these complex processing steps in Sri Lanka just to qualify. But now, all those barriers are just gone. You can source from literally anywhere in the world, the processing is simpler, and the big one, tariff-free access.
Let's just let that sink in. 0%. That's the new tariff on your garment imports from Sri Lanka into the UK. This is a direct saving. It goes straight to your bottom line, freeing up cash that you can pump back into what really matters, your designs, your marketing, your growth.
And this number? This shows you the incredible flexibility we're talking about. 100%. You can now source 100% of your materials from anywhere. So just imagine this. You could use premium organic cotton from Egypt, maybe some amazing sustainable dyes from Germany, combine it all in Sri Lanka's fantastic factories, and still pay zero UK import duty. That's the new reality.
Now, to put this all into perspective, Sri Lanka's garment exports to the UK already hover around $675 million. It's the UK's second largest garment export market, and that was with all the old friction. Now that these rules are in place, that number is just poised to explode. The opportunity here is absolutely massive.
Okay, so the financial side of things is a no-brainer. Lower costs are pretty much guaranteed. But let's be real, today's market is about so much more than just a price tag, right? What does today's consumer actually demand?
And that brings us to this new reality for every brand out there, the demand for transparency. You know, this isn't just a buzzword or a passing trend anymore. It's a core requirement for doing business, and it's being driven by consumers who want to know the real story behind their clothes. And, as we'll see, by some pretty major new regulations.
So, a huge part of this is something called the Digital Product Passport, or DPP. The easiest way to think about it is like a digital birth certificate for your products. It traces the entire journey from the raw material all the way to the finished garment. This is going to be central to the EU's new eco-design regulation, which, by the way, is definitely going to impact UK brands selling into Europe.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, but is this mandatory yet? Well, no, not today, but take a look at this timeline. The rollout for textiles is set to start around 2027. The clock is seriously ticking. Brands that start getting their data sorted out now aren't just getting ahead of compliance, they're building that crucial trust with customers and will have a massive competitive edge.
All right, so let's connect the dots here. On one hand, we have these incredible cost-saving DTCS rules. On the other, we've got this rising, non-negotiable demand for transparency. So what if you could have both? This is exactly where Sri Lanka steps in as the perfect sourcing partner for this new era of fashion.
So why Sri Lanka? Well, for a few key reasons. First off, they're already a leading country for building traceable supply chains. A lot of the industry there is vertically integrated, which is just a fancy way of saying one company can handle everything from spinning the yarn to stitching the final garment. That makes tracking the whole process incredibly simple. Plus, the country has really high social and environmental standards already in place, so their supply chains are basically primed and ready for something like a DPP to be implemented super easily.
So, what's the result of all this? The bottom line is, you no longer have to choose between cost and conscience. With these new DCTS rules, you get that competitive, tariff-free pricing and the transparent supply chain that modern consumers and regulators are demanding. It's literally the best of both worlds.
Okay, this all sounds amazing, I know. But the big question is, how do you actually do it? How do you map your entire supply chain and create these digital product passports without it becoming a huge headache and a logistical nightmare? Well, you need a partner. And that's where Seamless Source comes in. They are the experts in this exact space. Their whole mission is to make this entire process simple and accessible for fashion brands, no matter your size.
So, how do they do it? Well, they tackle the biggest challenges head-on. They have pre-mapped, traceable supply chains already set up in Sri Lanka. They have on-the-ground teams with all the local know-how to get things verified. And they have the DPP technology that's built to meet both current and upcoming UK and EU standards. They've got you covered.
Just look at this comparison. Before, trying to get ready for DPPs could be super complex and really expensive. It was a nightmare trying to keep up with regulations and a massive workload for your team. But with Seamless Source, all those problems just disappear. You get affordable, flexible pricing, they handle all the heavy lifting, and you can rest easy knowing you're always compliant.
And they are fast. We're not talking about some 6-month drawn-out project here. They guarantee a super clear 4-week implementation journey. They'll take you all the way from an initial audit to having live, verified DPPs in just 1 month. That's it.
And they're so confident they can deliver, they offered this incredibly bold guarantee. If your DPPs aren't live and kicking in 4 weeks, you get a 200% refund. Yeah, you heard that right. That's how committed they are to making this work for you.
So, let's wrap this all up. The UK government has literally opened the door to tariff-free access. At the same time, your customers and the regulators are demanding transparency. A clear, straightforward path to achieve both is right here in front of you. So the only real question left is, are you ready to lead the future of fashion?